him, Ortiz, Adujianfi, that front three is going to be really explosive, and look for them to test this Renegades back line. And for the Renegades, a player that you want to stand out is Sebastian Ruiz at the number 10 position. How quickly can he get up to tempo? Because he needs to be massive if they have any hopes of advancing into the next round.
It'll be Columbus Crew 2 in their yellow from left to right, and New York Renegades FC in their white and orange from right to left. They traveled in yesterday so they could get acquainted. They said that this Crew 2 side was kind enough to invite them to the stadium, give them a walkthrough. This is the thrill for them. But Boris Linares talked about playing the moment and enjoying it while not being afraid of it and overwhelmed by it. That's, again, what you talked about the first 15 minutes. For these lower division sides, if you can weather the first 15, it doesn't feel as big anymore, and it does feel like you belong.
On the other side of your Federico Higuain, like you said, I think he wants his side to end this game in the first 10 to 15 minutes, right? If you can get a goal, now you afford the ability to be a little bit more expansive and break them down.
Referee in charge tonight, Atahan Yaya. And he sends us on our way. Opening match of the 13 we'll see this evening here in the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Club. Glad to have you with us for it with Ricky Lopez Espin.
Pointing out about the first half here.
Ultimately gets out wide after the deflection by Francisco Flores. Head toward Adams. Chase Adams battling. You could see year over year somebody that you've seen at lower levels for Columbus. Chase Adams, his body's starting to fill out as well, and that's why the hype train around him is really starting to take off now at 16 years of age. He has 5 caps for the U.S. U17s and 11 goals. Caveat, 10 of those goals came in one game against the U.S. Virgin Islands, but he's starting to show out at the national team level as well. Renegades again on the counterattack, had it blocked. Good effort from Sebastian Ruiz. And corner for the visitors.
I think he misses an opportunity to play his striker. Vilcauzo makes a fantastic run off the shoulder Palacios as he likes to go on himself. Right spot for the Renegades, this Ruiz on this near side. Right footer, so always wants to come centrally.
Can they make the most of their first set piece? Dropped in, header on, and saved by Lapkus. The flag stayed down because they still had a defender on the post.
Set pieces, especially when you do not have a lot of the ball. Fantastic way to put some pressure on opposing back lines.
The first round. Well, they're a historic Open Cup club. Back in when it was all amateur sides before the modern era, they won 4 U.S. Open Cups, and they're typical qualifiers. Recently, Lansdowne Yonkers have also become a mainstay in qualifying to get through their 5-time entrance into Open Cup, and they beat them in the qualifying final. So they beat the historic side in their opening game that's won this tournament 4 times, and then the recent favorite in Lansdowne Yonkers, they beat them in the final to make their first ever Open Cup here. So they're coming into this with some confidence based on their path through. A couple of players already flashing here for Renegades. Still 0-0. Columbus though on the prowl. Knocked away. Into space here. Renegades looking to counter with speed down the left wing. Cutting inside, it's Ruiz. Floating to Descalzo. Both of those players have been bright early on. Descalzo goes for a goal. Lapkus leaves it. Player back on the other side. Another misplay from Lapkus. He never noticed that on the back side, he had Milton Campos lurking.
Just the back line for Columbus Crew all over the place. It's Palacios, the center back, that steps down. Look at the recovery run, or lack thereof, of effort versus Lapkus. You should never let this ball come across if you're a goalkeeper, especially with the lack of recovery runs from Rogers, Palacios, and Ferdinand. This Columbus Crew 2 side, very casual to start this game. And even like this, Joe, the tempo needs to be a lot higher. Players are taking far too many touches, slowing the game down, and like you mentioned, that just plays into the hands.
Something on here, played in, Adujianfi. Offside flag comes up. Turning is Ortiz, had Adams right away. Brown for Adams. Chase Adams goes for goal. First save made by Eric Edwards.
And pick and choose your times when to play positive and break lines or have the ball circulating, because everything has been in front of this back line of the Renegades. Exactly what I'm talking about, Joe. Moments like this, it needs to move quicker. You need to bypass some blinds and play into a Chase Adams.
Adams hasn't touched it much. And their leading scorer last season with 9 goals. Coming off of a really strong international showing with the United States U17s. Here he is now on cue. Doesn't get there though. Ahead of, once again, Bedward. Gets behind him though at the end line and wins a corner. Good physical battle for Adams against somebody 13 years older.
It's the first time that we've seen Bedward have a misstep. He's been fantastic with his recovery run and his positioning. Chase Adams really clever, comes around his shoulder and wins at set piece for his side. These are the moments that if you are Federico Higuain, you need to take full advantage of and causing some issues in front of Edwards.
Looped in, headed centrally defensively and in! They get it done off of a set piece. Columbus, bit of a breakdown for Renegades, and right on the doorstep of halftime, it's Keyshawn Ferdinand who opens the scoring for Columbus.
Talked about this game can be decided by moments. It's not the initial ball, it's the secondary action. It's going to be really interesting now, Joe, to see the reactions from both sides. Obviously, Federico Higuain is going into halftime with the lead. So to see change something in terms of their approach, a little bit more defensive-minded. The subs come in, and for Boris Linares, the head coach of the Renegades, now you need to step out a little bit higher, be a little bit more aggressive in the way that you go after this game.
Second one before halftime, if they could find it now with this momentum for Columbus, that would almost feel like it would put it out of reach historically, the way these games tend to go. First goal so significant when you're talking about a pro side against an amateur side here. An early Open Cup round, strike from distance, save made by Eric Edwards.
I love this ball from Ferdinand. Watch how the white jerseys all come towards one side of the field, so that leaves.
Sue turns. Intercepted by Rogers, slows it down. Was only their second shot on target, Columbus, the one that turned out to be the goal. Palacios did well to battle off and have that centering header now slip through. Opportunity to make it 2 around Edwards, and it squeaks through. Brent Adu-Giampi scores a second for Crew 2, and this game has flipped on its head right before half.
We've been talking about that front three. We need them to be a little bit more aggressive. Ortiz essentially, so he occupies.
And again, traditionally, historically in this tournament, that second one is the one that changes everything. Crew 2 did not have their best half. They get it. In the end, it's a 2-0 lead at the break for Columbus Crew 2. Some squandered opportunities early in the first half. Columbus made them pay by scoring 2 late in that first half, and we begin the second half with Columbus up 2-0. Flag does stay down, so Edwards comes off his line and clears.
Good run.
Played in behind here for Renegades. 3-on-3 again. They had this in the first half and didn't capitalize. Played all the way through and saved by Lapkus.
Run in from Ruiz on that far side, but look at the movement from Descalzo. You need to play this ball back across. He's in acres of space, cuts it back. It's a clear goal scoring opportunity.
Now the other way for Columbus, saved by Edwards. The rebound cleared. Miami United 0-0.
Going back the other way, Columbus Crew loved this run from Chase Adams, but if your RT is just a little bit more patient, because now you have Adam Giamfi.
Has a goal. Virginia Dream, the lower division side, up 1-0 on the road against Richmond Kickers. Chattanooga of MLS Next Pro 0-0 against Corpus Christi FC. Appalachian. Another chance here for Columbus, saved by Edwards. Another corner coming for Columbus, keeping them in it, but it's Columbus again knocking at the door.
Great strike from Chase Adams, and I love the aggressive natures from Ortiz.
Scored on a corner in the first half, Columbus. Near post in swinger here. Dealt with by Descalzo, helping back defensively as a pro outfit in Division 3 that would have been previously playing amateur in this tournament. Now they are actually on pro teams. So it's interesting because we've seen plenty of upsets of Division 3 teams over Division 2 or Division 2 or Division 1. It seems like there's more and more of those, just less and less of the amateur sides over the pro sides. That's enough of us pontificating and being philosophical. 10 minutes into the second half, Columbus looking for more. Adams lets it run by. Here's Brown, saved by Edwards. We talked about it in the first half. If there was going to be a star, potential pro contract somewhere, it was going to be Edwards, and he's proving it.
As Renegades have to go and chase this game now, they leave themselves vulnerable going back the other way. If you are Brown, you have to pick out a corner to keep this thing 2-0. See the frustration after the fact from Brown if he just has the composure to find that near post. Mo Traore?
That's 5 saves for Edwards now, and basically all of them have been of the very difficult variety. Brown. Still unknown who the victors of this first round will be facing in the second. Draw will happen sometime in the near future. Set those matchups. The next window of games here in Open Cup. The opening week of April. April 1st and 2nd, the 2 match days. Give it away at the back. Adams threads it forward. A third in the offing here. No, it's again a big Edwards save. He's irate at his back line. Specifically Jose Gil, who subbed on at halftime for Kilmar Campos.
Really sloppy here from Gil. I love the interchange between him and Chase Adams. Ortiz didn't hit it cleanly enough. What a save that is from Edwards. How giving Gil an earful. Not good enough from the sub.
From the corner. These are the moments where in transition, if you can, for Renegades, you have to find something. And he's replaced by Ibra Sai. Hour gone, half hour remains. Columbus up 2-0 and looking for more. Corner tally really rising for Columbus as well now. This is their 9th incoming. He goes short. First time they've gone short off of a corner. Better angle, nice ball in, punched away by Edwards. A powerful punch at that. Impressive for Renegades to get here in the first place in a difficult open qualifying region. Now played in behind, flag stays down, Edwards comes all the way out, goal is vacated, he's still fronting it, played centrally for Brown, and clinical in the end for Columbus. Tristan Brown makes it 3, and they can already taste the second round.
Really good positioning from Brown to start it off. Edwards gets caught in no man's land, no need to step off of your line that high. But give credit first to Ortiz, then Brown to be composed. And around that 18-yard box. How many times have we seen this ball get dragged back and someone elect to hit it first time? You know, yes.
They expanded upon last year. It was just Sasha Kleshtin and a couple of others. Kleshtin was the crown jewel of that team last year. Columbus looking for more. Ortiz had it punched away by Edwards. Comes back out to a Columbus player. Brown went for the spin. Well, this year Des Moines has Dax McCarty, Bradley Wright Phillips, and just basically a full 11 almost of MLS retirees and a couple on the bench as well. That's going to be a fun side here tonight. Also, Justin Merrim, Benny Feilhaber joining the fray, AJ De La Garza, Matt Hedges. So who's who of recent MLS retirees joining Sasha Kleshtin this time around. They take on Sporting Kansas City too. And then later on a game you and I will have Real Monarchs of MLS Next Pro going up against El Farolito, who last year advanced twice against pro sides, beating Portland Timbers 2 and then Central Valley Fuego. So upsetting 2 third division sides before losing to the Oakland Roots in the third round. This one played through, Edwards off his line again. Adu Giampi can just escort it all the way into the net. 4-0 Columbus, a brace for Brent Adu Giampi.
Great ball in from Chase Adams. Big Bedward, you cannot get beat that easy with the ball.
The 16 winners of the second round plus 16 USL championship teams. And that'll be the theme for back-to-back rounds there. The round of 32 will be those 16 winners from the third round and then 16 MLS sides. Columbus looking for a 5th. Have another corner.
You're looking for a little bit of leadership from Puerto Bedward. If they do step up, that's when Garcia and Silveira need to step with them and just negate that space, because that's what's killing them right now. And try to catch out Ortiz and Adams in an offside position. It continues to break down for the Renegades.
12 minutes to go. Header away by Bedward on the corner. You've got a chance to see a lot of this Columbus team. Some different events you've called at the youth level, U15, U17, which is now shifted to U16 and U18 under the MLS umbrella. But a lot of these players you saw for the first time for Columbus back when they were on those U15 or U17 teams, and you've seen them a lot in Next Pro, and now seeing them here with the Next Pro side, but in Open Cup. What are your biggest takeaways from this Crew 2 side and why they've had so much success here in their early going? Come back to that in a second. Something on here for Renegades. They haven't had much in this second half.
Great goal.
And that's something to hang your hat on for New York Renegades FC. The deficit's still 3, but a memory made on a finish like that.
Great run from Silveira. And that's okay.
And there is the final whistle. Their first ever U.S. Open Cup appearance. Columbus Crew 2 have a victory, and they're on to the second round.